Today is a liberating day for Rivian owners. That's because just a few hours ago, the Tesla Supercharger network has now been opened up for Rivian R1T and R1S vehicles to access. Not the entire network, but a good majority of it. I think over 15,000 charging stations. We're going to get into that a little bit later as far as which stations you can and cannot use. But here today, we're going to do a little test. As you can see on the hood of my Rivian R1S, I have the A to Z adapter, the Electron adapter, and the official Tesla adapter. These are all Tesla to CCS1 or NACS to CCS1 adapters. I only have the official Tesla adapter because a couple of weeks ago, Ford became the first automaker to get Supercharger access, and Ford gave me one of these adapters. These adapters are going to be provided to Rivian owners. However, that process hasn't begun yet. I got the notification that soon I'll be able to, I guess, go online and order my adapter because Rivian is also giving away these adapters free to their owners, as Ford is doing. I think it's a really good thing for these automakers to do that. However, I know it's going to take a while for you to get one if you have a Rivian vehicle. It could be many months. You may not get one for 7 or 8 months because Tesla, who manufactures these adapters, isn't going to be able to make enough to provide Ford with their adapters, Rivian, and the other automakers. So a lot of my followers have been asking me, Tom, do the third-party adapters work on your Rivian R1S? Now I know technically you're not supposed to use these. Rivian doesn't want you to use anything but the official Tesla adapter. But we're going to explain a little bit about that later in the video. Right now, we're going to see if they work, and then I'm going to record a charging session with the official Tesla adapter from 10% to 70% and see how long that takes. Now, first up, we're going to try out the A to Z adapter. I have a full video review of this adapter here on State of Charge, and I have a review of the Electron adapter coming out in a couple of days after this video goes. They both worked fine on my Ford F-150 Lightning. They actually work just as fine as the official Tesla adapter. So let's see here. Grab this. We got to slide this in. Then you have to lock the tab underneath the A to Z adapter. It's the only one that doesn't automatically lock to the NACS connector. Now, since I have plug-in charge activated, I should plug this in. It should just immediately recognize that it's an authorized vehicle and start charging. Let's see. I heard the vehicle lock the adapter to the vehicle. And green light. Take a look inside. It's charging. It's charging. It's already charging at over 100 kilowatt. Let me take a look. So right now it's at about 110 kilowatts, but it is cold outside and I didn't pre-warm the battery. This isn't a full test to see how well it works. I just wanted to make sure there was no compatibility issues. And the A to Z adapter is working just fine with my Rivian. I'm now going to unplug it and see how the Electron works before I do the full charge recording with the official Tesla adapter. Okay, so press this button. Shut off charging. Let me disengage this lock on the bottom. Where is this? Oh, unlock, push it towards you. Yeah, I really don't like this locking mechanism that A to Z uses. It works, and if you unlock it during the charging session, it'll immediately stop the charging. The other two adapters have a better locking mechanism for the NACS connector. Okay, with the Electron now, this is the Electron, you have to push in the lock underneath in order to slide the Tesla connector in. And now it's pulled in. Okay, I heard the vehicle lock the adapter to the charge port. Green light, so she's charging. And I see it going up 60, 70, 80 kilowatts. So as I said, this isn't a full review of how these adapters are working on the Rivian. I've done that with my Lightning, full comprehensive reviews. I even measured the temperature of them every 5 minutes to see how hot they get. I'll drop a link to those review videos in the description of this video. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do now is unplug, and we're going to use the official Tesla adapter. This is the adapter. It's manufactured by Tesla. This is the adapter that Rivian owners are going to get. But the problem is we don't know when you're going to get them. It may take, like I said, 6, 7, 8 months for everybody to get one. So these other two adapters, the Electron adapter and the A to Z adapter, are available basically now if you order them. And they cost the same as what the Tesla adapter does. But as I said, you're violating the terms of use from Rivian if you use those adapters. But I know some people are going to do that, and that's why I had these reviews. I personally don't have a major problem using them myself. I think they're safe and engineered well enough to use, but we'll talk a little bit about that when we go over the charging session. Okay, so before I jump into the charge recording, I want to clarify a little bit on which superchargers Rivian owners can go to. So Tesla has V2 superchargers, V3 superchargers, and now they're just starting to install V4 superchargers. The adapter will not work on V2 superchargers, only V3 and later. And unfortunately, not all V3 superchargers are currently available to charge Rivian vehicles. Tesla is slowly updating, not slowly, actually rapidly updating the superchargers so that they will be compatible to non-Tesla vehicles through the adapter. So how do you find which ones are currently available? Well, there's a couple things you can do. In the Tesla app, it will show you which ones are compatible with your vehicle, and also in Rivian's app and Rivian's navigation system. And I actually used a navigation system to see which ones in my area were available. And as you can see, the closest one to my house was actually the Alamucci Supercharger. And the interesting thing about that is Ford vehicles also have a in navigation charge assist, they actually call it charge assist, where it shows you where compatible fast charge stations are. And even though Ford can access superchargers now, this particular station, which is available for use for Ford and Rivian vehicles now, showed up on my Ford Charge Assist as not available, that it wasn't compatible, although other superchargers that are compatible showed compatible. So I was a little surprised when I saw that the Rivian had this listed as a compatible station. Now, I knew it would be compatible, but I had assumed that Tesla provides this data to the other companies, and they just hadn't updated that this site was available yet. So that was interesting that Rivian got it right and Ford's system has it wrong. So this is the station that I travel to, and I urge you to use the in-vehicle navigation to find which supercharger you can use. You could also see here that the second closest supercharger to my house is not available because that's a V2 station, and it correctly indicated that in the Rivian navigation system that it's not available for me to use. Okay, so let's move on. How do you get one of these adapters? Now, we know Rivian is going to be giving them away to their customers. So I looked up on the Rivian website exactly what that process is going to be like, and this is what I found. We're offering a free NACS DC adapter to all Rivian owners in the US and Canada to enable charging at over 15,000 Tesla Superchargers across North America. We'll email all existing Rivian owners in early April with instructions on how to opt in to receive an adapter. Once you've confirmed your interest, we'll follow up to confirm your mailing address when your adapter is ready to be shipped. Adapters will begin shipping in April, and we'll prioritize our longest standing owners for earliest fulfillment. And with a little asterisk, for those taking delivery in April and beyond, we'll contact you separately about getting your adapter. Okay, so we know Tesla is making a lot of these adapters because right off the bat, just with Ford and Rivian owners. That's, maybe 100,000 adapters that have to be distributed. And now I know there's more than 100,000 Rivian and Ford EV owners, but not everybody's going to opt into this. Some people have no need for it and they just won't apply for it. So let's just throw that crazy number out there, 100,000. Ford's already beginning to manage expectations of their customers and letting them know that it could be many months before they get their adapter. And Rivian is kind of doing the same here in this statement, although not really being clear about it. I think it's completely possible that some people aren't going to get their adapter for more than 6 months. So that's why I've talked about these other third-party adapters, which you'll be able to get much sooner than that. We'll talk a little bit about them later on, but I know a lot of people say, well, Tom, if Rivian's going to be giving you one of these adapters, why would I even consider buying another adapter? Well, some people don't want to wait. Some people don't want to wait 7 or 8 months to have Supercharger access, and they say, you know what, Tom, let me know which one of these I could buy. I've gotten dozens and dozens of emails from people saying that, look, I want one now. Please let me know which one you think is the better adapter. And that's why I've done these review videos. I've already published my A to Z review video. The Electron review video is going to be out in a couple days after this video. Then I'm going to do another review video on the Tesla adapter. And then I'm going to have a fourth video that compares all 3 adapters and talk about the strengths and weaknesses. Okay, the only other thing we have to talk about before we look at the charge recording is how the adapter works when you plug it in. Rivian vehicles have plug-in charge technology. It automatically authenticates the vehicle and the charging station, and you have an account set up with a credit card, so you automatically get billed. So as you saw in the video, all I did was plug the adapters. It didn't matter which adapter because the vehicle in the station actually doesn't identify the adapter. It doesn't know which adapter's being used. And it automatically started the charging session. And then I got an email when my charging session was over from Rivian that detailed the bill. And we'll go over that a little bit later. But now let's take a look at the charge recording. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit. After I've helped you decide which electric vehicle charging equipment you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and let the EV charging installation professionals at Qmerit install it. Okay, I plugged in at 10% state of charge and charged to 80%. I originally planned to charge to only 70%, but I changed my mind once the charging session started and decided to go up to 80. I saw a peak charging speed of 212 kilowatt, which is a little less than what I usually see on a 350 kilowatt Electrify America or EV Go station. However, the overall time of 40 minutes to go from 10% to 80% was actually just about as good as any charging session from 10 to 80% as I've gotten on Electrify America or EV Go. So what it comes down to is the Tesla Superchargers are going to charge the Rivian vehicles just as fast as any other station out there. And now let's take a look at the details of this charging session summary. Okay, I plugged in at 2:30 and charged from 10 to 80% in 40 minutes. Well, actually, it was 39 minutes and 47 seconds, as you could see in the email that I received from Rivian that summarized the session. You'll get one of these after every Supercharger charging session. You can see I paid 34 cents per kilowatt hour at this station, and the station dispensed 92 kilowatt hour. So my total was $31.28. Now, Tesla has dynamic pricing. It depends on what time of day and what station you're at. So you can't really use this at what it's going to cost you. Your cost to charge at Tesla Superchargers will vary greatly depending on where and when you plug in. But 34 cents is a very reasonable cost in my opinion. Okay, well, that was the charge recording using the official Tesla adapter. But what about the other 2 adapters? So I haven't done any testing yet on my Rivian, but I've done extensive testing with all 3 adapters on my Ford F-150 Lightning. And honestly, they all perform exactly the same. I don't see a single difference in any one of them as far as charging goes. All 3 adapters are rated for 500 amps and up to 1,000 volts. All 3 adapters have 2 internal temperature sensors in case there's any kind of overheating problems, but I haven't encountered any of that in my charge recordings. All 3 adapters are designed to conform with the upcoming UL 2252 standard, which is going to be the certification for adapters. The UL doesn't have a certification yet for adapters. So none of these, including the Tesla adapter, are not UL certified. And that's really the rub on why some automakers, well, pretty much most automakers are saying at this point, we don't want you to use non-approved adapters. And the only adapter that's approved is going to be the one from Tesla, because that's coming from Tesla and it's on their network. However, that doesn't mean that some of the other adapters aren't going to be just as robust and just as safe. Yes, there's going to be some that aren't, and we're going to get flooded. The market's going to get flooded with these type of adapters really soon. I can see dozens of them coming over from no-name brands in Asia, particularly, that really aren't designed to handle the power that your Rivian's going to pull. But I decided to review both the A to Z adapter and the Electron adapter, specifically because I have experience with these companies and I know they make quality products for the most part. And that's why I decided to get a hold of these 2 before they're available to the public and do as much testing as I can to talk to my followers about these third-party adapters, because I know people are going to want alternatives. Like I can't just turn my back to that. I know some people aren't going to be able to get a hold of these, so they're going to go out and buy them. So I thought it was a good idea to get 2 of the adapters from the most established brands that I trust and see if they hold up to some of my tests. So far they have. Now I'd like to do more testing, particularly really hot temperature testing, but both companies have done this in the labs. I've even seen some of the results from that, and they claim that they're just as safe and as robust as the Tesla adapter. But I understand why companies are going to say only use the approved adapter, because a company like Rivian can't go out and test 10 of these, to make sure that they're available. But I know both Electron and A to Z have approached manufacturers trying to get them to certify them, and that may happen in the future. I know some of the OEMs are actually taking a close look at these adapters to decide if they want to add them to an approved list. But as of now, this is the only adapter that is officially approved and endorsed by Tesla and Rivian. So let's see what those 2 automakers have to say about this subject. Okay, on Tesla's website, this is Tesla's policy text. Third-party adapter policy. To avoid risk of serious illness and property damage, users of Tesla charging stations may only use adapters sold or provided by Tesla or by another automaker in the United States. Your use of any other adapter with Tesla's charging stations is strictly prohibited. Okay, well, there it is. It's prohibited. However, these adapters are passive, and there's no way to know if you're using this adapter or this adapter or this adapter. Tesla can't identify it. The vehicle can't identify it. If the adapter is safe, there's no problem there, and nobody is good. There's not going to be adapter police out there, seeing you use a non-approved adapter and banning you from the network. This is mostly for liability. If somebody uses an inferior adapter and it causes damage to the station, their vehicle, or somebody gets hurt, Tesla and the other OEMs want to say, look, we warned you. You should have used what we put out there. Okay, now let's take a look at what Rivian has to say on the subject. Only Rivian-provided NACS DC adapters are authorized for use on the Tesla Supercharger network. Use of unapproved adapters can result in damage to your vehicle. Okay, and I totally agree with that. Use of some non-approved adapters can result in damage to your vehicle. And I'm sure we're going to see that in the future, because as I said, we're going to get the market's going to get flooded with these things. Everyone's going to be trying to sell them. Some of them are going to be really cheap. They're not going to have temperature sensors. They're not going to be designed to conform with UL 2252. And ultimately, 2252 is going to get finished and published, and then we'll get these adapters officially UL certified. My thinking is that once that happens, and let's say the Electron adapter gets UL certified, or the A to Z adapter, or they both get certified, I think what we'll see is the manufacturers say, okay, these adapters are UL certified, you can use them on our network. But right now, none of them are. So they're erring on the side of caution and saying, this is the only one that Tesla's making. This is the only one we want you to use. That's my guess. We'll see in the future, but I have a feeling that some of the third-party adapters are going to be officially accepted by the OEMs down the road once UL 2252 gets finalized and the companies can actually get their adapter certified. They can't yet. All they could do is say, we're designing them to conform with 2252 and wait till that gets finished till they go through UL certification. All right, well, that's all I have here today on Rivian getting access to Tesla Supercharger network. It's a good day to be a Rivian owner. You can use DC fast chargers from all the networks out there, Electrify America, EVgo, Flow, ChargePoint, all of those. You have the Rivian Adventure network. Now you've got 15,000 plus Tesla Superchargers. So finding a place to plug in once you have the adapter is going to be a lot easier than it was just last week, and that's good for everybody. This transition to one plug, the North American charging standard, or it's going to be officially known as J3400, is going to be good for the whole industry, not just for Rivian. There's going to be some growing pains in the beginning as, you know, we talked about some of the vehicles not being able to fit in one parking spot at a Tesla Supercharger stalls because of where the charge port is located. Currently, even with your Rivian, you've got to use 2 stalls to charge because the port is not in the right location. Tesla vehicle ports are in the rear left side of the vehicle. Rivian's in the front left side of the vehicle. So that you can't even back in and only take up 1 stall. So all these problems are going to have to be worked out. There's some extension cables that are going to be made soon. I know Tesla's making one. I think A to Z actually has one. I would be very surprised if Electron wasn't designing one. And that'll help you to possibly only take up 1 stall if you can run the extension cable from your vehicle to the charger. But in time, this is all going to get worked out. And I think no vehicles will be taking up 2 parking spaces 5-6 years from now, at least the new vehicles that are on the market. Your current vehicle still will because you're not moving the charge port. And I know a lot of people have also asked me, do you think Rivian will do a upgrade to my vehicle? Like I can pay them to have the charge port removed and put in a NACS charge port. I do not foresee that happening. I've spoken with engineers and people in multiple OEMs, and no company right now is currently planning on upgrading existing vehicles that have J1772 and CCS1 ports to North American charging standard ports. I don't think that's going to be available. Of course, if you want to throw a ridiculous amount of money out there, you'll probably be able to find somebody to do it, but it just won't be worth it. Just use the adapter and you'll be fine. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.